right, we're gonna set the scene real quick. We're at the scariest
I'm terrified.
cemetery in town. We're at the Morton Cemetery.
This chapel was dedicated November 7th, 2008. Morton Cemetery Association acknowledges with grateful appreciation the financial contributions from Morton Lodge number 72,
Huge.
AF and AM, and many other generous donors, which made it possible.
You're so good at reading. That was good. That was far. Your glasses are good.
Well, these
You're
are
really
just
zoned
readers.
in.
Yeah.
I couldn't read that good. Yeah.
So
Marabou Lamar's buried here.
and that's and
Maybe Jane Long.
and he established.
I don't know. Yeah.
He established the schooling system in Texas.
Apparently, something like that. But he's just like a rich lawyer man kind of vibe.
My Texas history. Is this too personal?
No.
Oh, okay. My Texas history. She was gone a lot, but she kind of vaguely gave the impression that she preferred Houston. It was like Houston, then him, and
Houston lived with like Native Americans for a long time, which I think is good for a guy a long time ago.
And so, but Lamar.
But I know Lamar. Like, I think he was like a lawyer for people that had slaves, sort of. Vibe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, he was like to me.
But he's also a poet.
Oh.
He has some poems.
Do you have him?
I have him in a different book. I couldn't find that book, but
to me, I heard that
they're just about how Texas is.
He
cool.
did more spending on education,
right? Yeah,
which is why your high school is named.
He's a fancy boy,
and that's why. Yeah. It's like differences in personality, sort of like. Republican,
Sam Houston
Democrat.
is like he's out there.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the thick of it.
Yeah.
But I got Life's Too Short Not to Live as a Texan by Peg Heen and Catherine
relevant.
Lewis.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's just a book where I like bought it at a thrift store, and it's just like the most brain dead stuff ever. Like it's just kind of fun, stuff. I'll read the intro thing, I guess, and then you can just go wherever you want.
Okay.
But life's too short not to live it as a Texan. Being Texan is a state of mind arising from the history, heroes, legends, people, places, and attitudes of this richly diverse land. If you're a newcomer to the state, we hope this book will help you get started thinking in the Texas state of mind. Before too long, you'll be able to think of your own reasons why Texas is such a special place. If you're a visitor, we hope this book will accompany you home to remind you of the wonderful times you had here. Because being Texan is a state of mind, you may discover that you can live life as a Texan, even if you're far away. Oh, dang, this guy's here. We got a cool Corvette pulling up.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to hang out with us. If you've never been to Texas, this book is a sampler of what you're missing. And if you're a Lone Star native, this book is full of affirmations. Perhaps we can look closer to discovering in the following pages just what it means to be a Texan. Dang, is he pissed that we're here?
No.
He's going to do a burnout? Yeah, he just did a sick burnout.
No, I might have just been using this to turn around.
Yeah. Because he got a Corvette. That was like a new Corvette.
Yeah. Are we being followed?
Probably. They heard we were going to talk about what it means to be a Texan, so. Do you want to?
Sure.
Do you want to hit it? Just
well,
anyway?
I mean, when you go to the Hallmark store or something, do you go to the Texas section?
Oh,
I
yeah.
love
Great
doing
section.
that. It really makes you feel like, because we're inundated with so much Texas stuff that, like, then when you see it, you're like, oh, yeah, armadillos.
Oh, wow. Yeah. These are great. I love these.
Oh, I'm going to this page. I see an armadillo.
Texas critters. Okay.
We got an armadillo with sunglasses on, which is... Have you seen the SpongeBob where he throws a party and then reads newspaper comics? I'm a little worried that this might be that. So, armadillos, parentheses, Texas speed bumps, parentheses and quotes, Texas speed bumps.
Yeah.
Poor dead dillos, their feet pointing skyward, are the unofficial roadside decoration of Texas. When frightened, an armadillo will jump straight up into the air, sometimes as high as 4 feet.
Whoa.
But more often, just to bumper level. Early Spaniards in Texas named it the Little Armored One. But scientists call it Discipus novem. Is the point of this podcast to point out that I can't read?
Yeah, usually.
Discipus novamectinus.
That seemed good.
Novamectinus. I feel like there needs to be an extra.
Yeah, that's the way a lot of those Latin ones are.
Yeah, for its 9-banded shell. Blessed by neither speed nor brains nor good eyesight, the Dillos' best defense is to roll into a ball and play dead. Dillos are called Texas submarines because they walk across streams. That rhymed. That's a Lamar-style poem there. Submarines, they walk across streams, bars. Isn't that weird, too? We were also talking about, something. Oh, eyesight, right? Good eyesight.
Yeah.
So,
the armadillos are good?
Yeah, they have not good eyesight. When I was a young person, one of my favorite books, because I wasn't living in Texas, was a storybook about a armadillo. And I think it came with an armadillo. See, I think it probably came from a gift shop. Yeah, like a gift shop when we came and visited Texas. And it was like an armadillo, and then he falls in love with a girl's boot because he thinks it's another armadillo. Like, I would read that all the time. And can you think of, an AI girlfriend or something like this? Or,
it's like her.
Yeah, it is her. Oh, can we talk about her for a second?
Yeah.
Do you know that it's like him and the Coppola? They're making the movie about each other.
What's the Coppola movie?
Lost in Translation.
Oh,
he's in love with his camera. He's like saying, "I am in love with my camera."
Yeah. Oh,
isn't that crazy? And Scarlett Johansson's in both of them. Well, I don't know. There was
are they friends?
There was like a YouTube video. Yeah, Spike and
Sophia are close.
Isn't that sweet? Like, I find that so.
Wait,
beautiful.
are they They're like in love?
They were.
Oh.
And then they got divorced, or I don't know if they were even married. But
she's married to the.
Yeah.
Who's married to the guy from Phoenix?
I don't know.
I think that's Sophia Coppola.
Maybe she is now. Yeah.
She is now. Yeah, she's like, I'm married to the guy from Phoenix. Because I remember Coppola's granddaughter. It was like, I got grounded by my parents because I took a helicopter to see my camp friend or whatever. Like, and it was like,
that's awesome.
Dang. And then everybody was like, wait, your mom is Sophia Coppola and your dad is the guy from Phoenix? And it's like, that sounds pretty chill.
Very sweet. All right.
We got some more in the book.
I want to find Lamar in here.
Is Houston? We'll hit Houston. Well, we talked about Houston a little bit.
Sam Houston. Yeah. Sam Houston was a complicated, controversial giant of a man whose personality and idiosyncrasies are legendary. He was the hero who led the ragtag volunteer Texas Army to victory at the Battle of San Jacinto. Elected as the first president of the Republic of Texas, later as U.S. Senator, and finally as governor, he dominated the first 30 years of Texas history. His vigorous political leadership led to the annexation of the Republic of Texas by the United States. Then, when the furor arose over the secession, great show.
The furor?
Not that kind of...
fervor?
No, it's... Furor, like furor as in like terror, or you know what I mean?
I don't even know that word. Yeah, I get that word now, fury, but furor.
Then, when the furor arose over the secession of Texas from the Union, he took the unpopular and losing stand. It was his
to be a country.
It was his refusal to take the oath of allegiance to the Confederacy that ended his political career, causing the secessionists in the state legislature to throw him out of office. Saddened, Sam Houston died 2 years later in 1863. So, I do want to say, and I'm just going to be a little nervous about my ability to read here, the font choice on this book it's not... It's not Comic Sans, but it's pretty close.
Pretty much Comics. They didn't have Comic Sans invented yet.
I need a little bit of kerning. I need a little bit of serifs.
Can't have handwriting fonts, serifs. Really is not the best.
It really helps you speak English.
Also, it's a thing that I noticed where it's just like, if you're reading a book by someone and they're not like a person that writes books all the time or is like good at... It's just like, you can kind of tell when you read it out loud, for sure, where you're just like, oh, yeah, that wasn't a sentence, dude. Like, let me read one.
Okay, go for it.
Let me hit Hollywood, Texas. Is it all that? Yeah. Oh, wait, might hit Texas etiquette. Most people raised in Texas are gentle and polite. They are taught mind your manners from infancy. Manners in Texas are more of a matter of courtesy and respect than rules of etiquette. And then what is this?
Have you experienced that? A lot of manners?
Not too much. Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Well, you say like yes, ma'am.
You say yes, ma'am,
yes,
sir.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's the only thing they mean.
That's if you clear that bar,
then you're good.
You're Texan.
You could say slurs. A native-born Texan will always tip his hat or touch 2 fingers to the brim when he meets a lady on the street. We got to start touching 2 fingers to our brim. Never make fun of a Texan's hat. That's just a whole sentence. Children are taught to say ma'am and sir to anyone older. Example, Billy Joe, did you bring in the dog? Billy Joe answers yes. Yes, what, Billy Joe? Yes, sir. This habit continues well into adulthood. Texans always respect your right to be in a hurry, even if they aren't. A slow-moving car or truck will move onto the shoulder of a 2-lane highway to make it easier for a faster driver to pass. Don't forget to say thank you by giving a little wave after they've gone by.
I do the wave, for sure.
Yeah, and I'm like, a lot of the stuff, it's like, is that a Texas thing? But I guess you're driving on 1-lane roads more.
1-lane roads, for sure.
But it's like they have those everywhere.
That's true, yeah.
Especially if it's not a big place.
Yeah, we're claiming that.
No, it's all right. That's a culture. That's part of our culture, yeah. Driving. It is not fit nor proper to ask a Texan rancher how big his ranch is, no matter how large it is. It is a, in quotes, little spread. No, that's huge. Yeah, you can't ask a guy the size of their spread.
I've been there, for sure.
Going over or under a rancher's fence without his permission is more than bad manners. It's trespassing, and property lines are not violated in Texas. It could even lead to a little buckshot in your britches. And if the buckshot doesn't get your attention, maybe those bulls will. All right, final page of the Texas etiquette. Texans generally don't jump right into a discussion about anything, at least of all business, without first inquiring about family, health, and one's opinion of the weather. Yankees, not knowing any better, tend to get impatient after several minutes of preliminaries. Unlike the movies, a true Texan always removes his hat when he enters a house or restaurant where ladies are present. And until proven otherwise, all women are ladies. I don't know what that means. I don't like that. It is sometimes considered rude to eat barbecue with silverware, except maybe a knife.
What?
Be prepared to use your fingers and get lots of napkins. Avoid wearing white. Now, that's a thing at some of the... If you go to the places in Lockhart, there's like... On the cup, it says no forks.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. But then how do you eat it? Just a sandwich? Or, I mean, just with your hands?
Yeah,
I mean,
I
do that just because I'm just like a weird sloppy eater.
I think that's,
you know what I mean?
that's
like,
part of the culture, though. You realize you're coming into your own as a Texan, yeah.
Well, that's our culture. I just burp. That's part of Texan culture.
Sometimes I'll go to the bathroom and I'll sit, or I'll stand up, depending. Yeah.
Washing hands, that's Yankee stuff.
And the most important act of courtesy taught to all young Texans. It is rude to ask a man where he is from. If he's from Texas, he'll tell you. If he isn't, don't embarrass him.
Oh, that's cool.
That rules.
I feel like have you ever been to Taste of Texas?
Yeah. My parents are involved.
Right,
they're obsessed with Taste of Texas.
It's good, dude. It's awesome.
They're like always, my parents have been to the, like last time I was here, they're like, we just went to the Christmas tour and she showed us all her new... They like the lady that owns it will have like be like, I bought the Doors of the Alamo. If y'all want to see, she's buying insane
it's her
stuff.
And Phil Collins.
Yeah, she's buying him from Phil Collins, I think. Yeah, or I was thinking maybe Phil Collins was like, you could put him in the restaurant. I love the restaurant because Phil Collins has been there, dude.
Oh, dude, man,
he's obsessed.
I think, and like people make fun of Phil Collins, but like I think I respect him more because he likes Texas. It's like
I like British guys, that like Texas.
One time, did you ever have to volunteer at the Railroad Museum here?
No,
I did, and then that was like for NHS.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my Letterman jacket in high school right now. But
we'll go over all the patches in a little bit.
Okay, cool. We got to read each one, but I volunteered there for NHS, which is like, that's not really volunteering, you know what I mean? Like,
so you're just at the museum.
I think it was just like I think I sweeped and then I just kind of did a couple laps around the thing, and it's like so small.
I would just forge it would be like, you have to say you volunteered, and I was like, I was at church a lot.
It was it was something like that where it was, I got the t-shirt and then my resume for college, but
huge boon.
But I remember being there, and then like a train guy came in, and like but he was British, and that was just so bizarre to me because it was like he
appreciated
train stuff, but then the added layer of him being British.
Yeah.
And like, because you know, I mean, I think it's very cool that there's like a small railroad museum in kind of, it's not the middle of nowhere,
right.
but it's like
next to it.
It's nearby. And,
nearby the middle of nowhere.
But I guess there's like, and then recently they did something where it was like one of those like large trains. Man, we don't have to keep talking about.
I
trains.
like the trains, man. Yeah, no, I like anything where it's like, did you ever watch Treme?
No.
There's this one episode of Treme where there's this guy who plays the trombone, and he like loses his trombone, but then there's like, or it gets stolen, but then there's like a Japanese guy that's like a big fan of his tromboning, even though he's like not a famous guy or whatever, and he buys him a new trombone.
That's
and it's like,
so cool.
Well, he's like, oh, thank you so much. And
we
I
got to
was
get
like,
that for you.
Yeah.
On the like podcasting, or like, could you imagine having fans? And has anyone ever pranked you? Now, see, I'm inviting a prank into my life, but one time my friend said, like, he did it to me on AIM or something. He was like, I saw your music on your MySpace or something. It's really good. And I was like, oh, wow, thanks. And he was like saying like, yeah, I'm actually from Germany or something like that. And I was like, dang, this is crazy. That's really nice to meet you. Well, something. And then like, then he sent a picture of himself flipping me off or something. But then like 4 or 5 years later, I did something on Bandcamp, and then somebody I got a message, and then it was like, hey, I really like your music. I'm from Germany or something.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if it was real or not.
Yeah, you can't. You always have to question
So I just
that.
had to assume that he was trying to prank me. And then so I'm like, was he doing that and saying like, oh, this is too easy to prank David?
Yeah,
like,
He's too genuine.
I was like, well, I really appreciate that. But anyways.
I got a message recently from someone in Europe about a jazz playlist I made on Spotify.
Oh, sick!
And he was like, I really respect and like your fast, crazy jazz playlist.
Wow.
And he goes, I was wondering if you could put one of my songs on.
Oh, so he was fishing.
Yeah, but I listened to the music. It was good, and
That's
I put it on
awesome,
there.
dude.
So if you guys reach out, I'll make it happen, especially if you're from Europe.
Can I tell you a really crazy story?
Yeah, man.
It's like kind of long.
No, okay.
Okay, so this is like a good story. So I'll probably tell it another time on other,
of course,
things that
media
are recorded media. But I was at Cheesecake Factory with my mom, and I Shazammed a song too late.
Yeah.
You ever do that?
Yeah.
And it was like, even because the other thing too, like Shazamming a song in front of someone, it's an embarrassing act. Like,
yeah, no, it's so
like,
embarrassing. Yeah,
because somebody's like, you like this song?
But
you know
also,
what I mean?
you
like,
don't know Run the Jewels.
Right,
I remember seeing
yeah.
someone
For
Shazam
sure.
at Velveeta Room, and I was just like, it's clearly Run the Jewels.
Yeah,
it's the most Run the Jewels song that's
Yeah.
ever.
There was a hilarious tweet I saw where somebody was saying, like, I saw someone Shazam, I got a feeling. So that was cool. But this was like awesome song. And then I'm like running. So I was too afraid to even Shazam it in front of my mom. So I got up. I was like, I'm going to go to the bathroom and then like get closer to a speaker. But then by the time I did that, the song was over. And so I like tried to keep it stuck in my head for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then I just gave up. I was like, I'm never going to find it. And then, but it stayed stuck in my head for like 3 years. And so I made a demo of the version that I had stuck in my head, and I put it on Tip of My Tongue.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Reddit.
Yeah.
And then this was like really sweet. A lot of them, I mean, like that's like a different personality than if you were to play like, hey, listen to my song. People are like, this stinks.
Yeah.
But like in that situation, they usually don't get that, so they're like, hey, this is kind of good.
Hey,
and like
man.
they were like, we're gonna help you, man. And they did, and they kept trying to find stuff. And then they sent me somebody who like worked at Cheesecake Factory, made a Spotify playlist of all the Cheesecake Factory songs. And it was like, this is like 5 years later at this point, and I never found it.
Dang.
Or no, I mean I had never found it. I'd never heard it since then. And so I was like, I'm doing this. I'm going to listen to every single freaking song on this playlist.
I'm all about listening to every song on a playlist, like
dude,
fast, like going through it. No.
Dude.
No.
And I finally found it, and it's
Wow.
like the best song, and I've listened to it probably like 150 times. And then the other
What's
thing
the song?
it's called So Much It Hurts by Nikki and the Dove. It's like,
shit.
but the guy who produced it is Alan Brax, who did a lot of like the Daft Punk stuff, and probably Phoenix stuff. And it's like the best song of all time. And
those French guys,
yeah,
they know how to make that stuff.
But then the upsetting thing was that when you say like, "Oh, I found it on Reddit," that like locks everyone from everyone else from
ever complimenting you again.
Yeah, I know. And like I was really enjoying the compliment, and it wasn't even that good. But it was like, and it sounded nothing. My demo sounded nothing like it. Like I see where I was going with it. But then that could be like a whole idea too of like finding the people, because a lot of times people will go like, oh, this song is stuck on the tip of my tongue, and then they'll hum it, and it's just like nonsense.
Yeah.
But like you could take that nonsense and turn it into a song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's because people get so energetic about that when it's like a song stuck in their head. Like, you know that song that's like, yeah, or something like that, and you're like, I don't know that, but let's keep going. Let's follow this.
Yeah, we could crack that.
Breadcrumb or something like that. Let me do one more.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Then do you want to do China or Russia?
Ooh, let's do Russia.
Okay.
Russia. Whose side are you on the
China-Russia side?
China, Russia, Ukraine. Where are you? I'm thinking Luxembourg at the moment. That's where I'm at.
I don't know. Well, has Putin been on any Netflix shows? Or?
I don't know.
Because I know the president of Ukraine has. So that's
what's the show that he's on?
He's like Veep. But in Ukrainian, like he was a comedian
really?
who was on.
I knew he was a comedian. But
he had a show where he was the president.
Oh, okay.
And then they were like, "We're gonna make him the president."
That's cool. That worked out.
Yeah.
Man, I can't believe Lamar's not on here.
Should we just pull up it's pretty advanced,
Wikipedia for Lamar? Jane Long is on here, and she did schooling stuff too, right?
Yeah, she's married here, I think.
Yeah,
so you could hit her.
Okay.
We could talk about a woman.
Yeah.
You passed it.
I did, okay. Henrietta King, Jane Long. Jane Long was one of the earliest white women to settle permanently in Texas.
Get him.
Her courage, determination, and the belief that she was the mother of the first white child born in Texas earned her the title the Mother of Texas.
Can we pause for a second?
Let's
because I do. It is a thing where it's like we do that thing now where we call people white. For real, and it's kind of jarring when you hear stuff from the past where they call people white, because you're like, oh, this isn't a racist way, I think, but you know what I mean? You're just like, because I watched that movie Lost Horizon from the 30s. Have you ever seen that?
I think so.
It's just like they find Shangri-La.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier, like this morning. With what's the guy? What's his name?
I watched the 30s one.
I know, I watched that one too. But what's it's like an apocryphal name that everybody says.
Oh, the guy's name?
Yeah, it's like.
Know.
Oh,
the Chinese guy?
Yeah, well, okay, and the Mikado, that's where we get the name Grand Poobah.
Oh, right,
but like,
yeah.
Shangri-La, it's Shangri-La and then something else.
The head llama. Yeah, There's a llama
Yeah. What's it called?
The Lost Horizon.
The Lost Horizon.
Lost Horizon. But there was a part where they go, we need to save all the white people. They're like, there's 80 white people in here. We need to save all the... They're like, all white people, get on the plane. Just them saying all the white people, and I'm just like, shit, bro.
1933, different times.
Different times, and...
Origin of Shangri-La. And then, and he's like Yoda. That's where they got the idea for Yoda, basically. It was that character in that movie. The High Lama.
The High Lama.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of one.
I think Shangri-La is what you're thinking.
Yeah, Shangri-La.
Because Shangri-La is not a real place.
Right, and that's where we get that
thing, yeah.
It's a great bar.
Great bar.
Her husband left her and their 6-year-old daughter at a small fort near Galveston when he journeyed to Mexico. When the soldiers and other settlers vacated the fort, Jane, who was pregnant, elected to stay... I feel like Maury. Jane, who was pregnant.
At the time.
When the soldiers and other settlers vacated the fort, Jane, who was pregnant, elected to stay behind with her daughter and a 12-year-old servant girl, Kian, to wait for her husband.
Wonder what race they are.
Kian, I would probably guess.
I was just joking.
I know.
I think it's a black lady.
Yeah. It was an unusually bitter winter, and they survived on fish and oysters dug from the frozen beach. In December, Jane, assisted by Kian, gave birth. This is like a midwife situation.
Also, this frozen beach. I'm a little dubious about the frozen beach, but maybe global warming has really done in
I don't know.
beach.
Like, it gets cold. I mean, it's cold out right now, and we're in
Right, would it freeze the beach? The beach is so warm.
Yeah. A few days later, they looked across the bay and saw several Karankawa Indian War canoes approaching.
Cool.
Jane hoisted her red petticoat on the flagpole and fired the fort's cannon until the Karankawas turned back. She later played a role in early Texas history by running a boarding house that was a gathering place for many who were involved in the fight for Texas independence. She died in 1880 at the age of 82, so that's...
No Richmond.
But that was like...
But the boarding house is where we are, and she's buried here.
Really?
I think so.
Wow.
Yeah, the boarding house is in Fort Bend.
Yeah, the Karankawas, I had to take some...
Karankawas are sick.
A class on Native Americans in Texas or something, and the Karankawa versus Tonkawa was like, or I don't know, I'm not speaking
the Karankawa are the one
with
by
any
the
expertise
ocean.
on any of this, but yeah, they were both like ocean tribes, and they were both like.
But the Tonkawa seems like it's more up by Louisiana.
Yeah, but the teacher was Eastern European, and she would like there were a couple kids with like Native American ancestry in the class, and like she would go, "You Tonkawa? You Tonkawa? Are you Tonkawa?" Or something like that.
It's just
and
like,
that was
no
weird.
one is anymore. They killed them in the 1800s.
The way that she said
it
was crazy. I don't know. I just always that's what I remember.
And the thing about the
most of it.
Karankawas is like
Are you Karankawa?
there
Are you
was
Karankawa?
yeah, I'm Karankawa. They were like, there's like I think some of the early like Cabeza de Vaca or something. It's like they had some interactions with the Karankawas, and they were like, they eat people.
Yeah.
But then this is what actually happened is
Tonkawas
that
did that. They had,
no,
yeah,
it's
or
it's
something.
it's Cabeza de Vaca and them like we're eating people.
And then they blamed
And
it
then
on
they were like, then all the Karankawas were like, we can't fuck with y'all. Like, y'all are like eating people and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
And so they like blamed it.
And they were like, that was it. They were all weird.
They were doing it,
yeah, I
not
don't know.
us.
Yeah,
Ooh.
it got all mixed up. Yeah,
Spooky.
I think they paint their face blue too.
Yeah. All right. So let's go to Russia.
We got the Russia stuff.
In Russia, you have to, if you're doing a business deal, you need to drink vodka with each other. That's like part of the handshake.
Dang, did you bring any?
I did not.
Dang.
This is business?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
These are fables?
Yeah, they're like fairy tales.
Oh,
I
cool.
guess they're all really good.
I have a book of cartoons from Crocodile magazine or Crocodile newspaper or something.
Dang.
And like a lot of them are about marriage. Like that's
Yeah,
they don't
it's all
like
about being
marriage.
married.
It's like women like bonking their husbands over the head and stuff like that.
Yeah, Katzenberger kids,
Yeah.
Katzenjammer kids. But yeah, so this is the book.
Russian fairy tales.
Published, okay, Alexander Afanasyev published his groundbreaking work of Russian fairy tales and folk tales in 8 volumes from 1855 to 1867. His success in popularizing Russian folklore and culture is reflected in the work of writers and composers from Rimsky-Korsakov to Igor Stravinsky. So this is from the 1800s, but
Wow.
we got a cool translation.
And is this like one of those like Grimms where he was just like getting them all?
I think,
written
yeah,
down?
he didn't really write them. Yeah, he
Yeah.
kind of just
It's
was
like a
like
folk collector
remembering
of
some of
stuff.
them. Yeah.
Okay. This is cool.
But yeah, I'll do one, and then they're pretty short, so you can hit
Yeah.
1 or 2, or see what you're doing. But yeah, it's
Super
fun to do
cool.
the voices. So this one is called "The Cross is Pledged as Security."
Okay.
What do you think?
Go for it.
Any guesses on what might
Wait,
happen?
the cross is what?
The cross is pledged as security.
The cross is pledged to security. I think it's going to be something with a
Crucifix.
wall. No, like a wall and somebody letting someone in or out of a gate of some sort. Okay.
In a certain town, there lived 2 merchants at the very edge of the river. One was Russian, the other Tartar. Both were extremely wealthy. Now it came to pass that the Russian merchant went bankrupt as a result of some unfortunate dealings, and nothing was left of his wealth. All his possessions were seized. He was now in bad straits, and as poor as a church mouse. He went to his friend the Tartar and asked him to lend him some money. The Tartar said, "Who will be your guarantor?" "Whom shall I name? I have no one left." "But wait a minute. Let the life-giving cross on the church be your security." "Very well, friend," said the Tartar. "I will trust your cross. What you believe in is good enough for me." So he needed, like, collateral, and he was like, what about the church cross? I don't know. I feel like he's going to betray the cross. I'm pretty worried he's going to betray the cross.
Hope not.
And he gave the Russian merchant 50,000 rubles. The Russian took the money and said farewell to the Tartar, and again set out to trade in foreign lands. At the end of 2 years, he had earned 150,000 rubles with the original 50,000. He happened to be sailing with his goods on the Danube from one town to another. Suddenly, a storm came up, and the ship seemed about to founder. The merchant then recalled that he had borrowed money against the security of the life-giving cross and had not paid his debt. He decided that this was the reason for the storm. He had no sooner come to this conclusion that the storm began to subside. The merchant took a barrel, counted out 50,000 rubles, wrote a note to the Tartar, put it in the barrel with the money, and threw the barrel into the water, thinking, since I gave the cross as security, the cross will deliver the money to its rightful owner.
Is that it?
No.
Okay.
More's going on. But we got the train coming.
Yep.
So that'll be fun. Where is the train track's right there? Is that it?
Yeah.
So we got that going. That'll be great.
I believe this is a BNSF. I believe this is the
Nachapati, Tehachapi.
Yeah. How do you feel about train graffiti? I feel like that's like
it's my
an
favorite.
important part of my life.
It's my favorite.
And, like out of growing up here, and I don't know if people here do it, but like we see it. I'm an aficionado.
Exactly. Yeah. In San Marcos, it's like you have to wait for the train so much because it's like goes through the middle of town and stuff, and so you'll just be like
that's
waiting
like
at the train for so long. Yeah.
Why did they do that?
I guess it was just they were like, we want to live next to the train.
I guess so. Yeah.
But now they have like stuff that goes over it, but it's like if you aren't on that, you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
I forgot to take the bridge that goes over the railroad. But
and it's weird. It's like you've seen the movie Wild Style or whatever. Like,
yeah.
Beautiful, like crazy, or what do they call it?
Bombing.
I went all city,
or
whatever.
City,
but like, how would you do that in Texas or something? That's what it is. A bit like
I've always wanted to do a thing where it's like I'm at the train, like I'm waiting for the train, and then I just start filming, and then like I go out and I'm like doing stuff while the train's there, and then I get back in the car when the train's done, and then I just do that every time I'm waiting at the train.
Traincast. Yeah. You would have fans very quickly.
Yeah.
From England.
England guys love the train.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think's gonna happen with this barrel?
I think it's gonna get to him. I hope.
In the exact way he thinks, or
not in the exact. I think there's gonna be a twist.
Okay. The barrel sank to the bottom at once, and everyone thought that the money would be lost.
Okay.
But instead, what happened? The Tartar had a Russian cook. One day, he went to fetch water at the river. He saw a barrel floating. Oh, it's a lady.
Okay.
She waded into the river and tried to grasp it, but every time she came close to it, it moved away. When she waded from the barrel to the bank, it followed her. She struggled with it for some time and then went home and told her master about it. At first he did not believe her, but then decided to go to the river and see this barrel for himself. He came and saw that the barrel was really floating near the bank. He undressed, went into the water, and no sooner had he begun to wade than the barrel drifted to him by itself. The Tartar took it home, opened it, and found the money and the note. He read the note, which ran thus: "My dear friend, I am returning to you 50,000 rubles that I borrowed from you against the security of the life-giving cross." The Tartar read the note and was amazed at the power of the life-giving cross. He counted the money. The whole sum was there. Meanwhile, the Russian merchant, having traded for about 5 years, had earned a handsome little fortune. He returned to his own town, and thinking that his barrel had been lost, decided that his duty was to first settle his debt with the Tartar. So he came to him and offered him the money. Then the Tartar told the merchant everything that had happened, and how he had found the barrel with the money and the note in the river. He showed the Russian the note and asked him, "Is this really in your hand?" The Russian merchant answered, "It is." Everyone was amazed at the miracle, and the Tartar said, "So you see, brother, you don't owe me any money. Take it back." The Russian merchant offered a thanksgiving service to God. The next day, the Tartar had himself and his family baptized. Score. The Russian merchant was his godfather, and the cook his godmother. After that, both merchants lived long and happily. They reached a ripe old age and died in peace.
That's great. Happy ending. That was like
Everything worked out.
Not a hugely, I guess the Russians don't necessarily believe in. In your experience, have they usually been all this nice?
It's usually fucked up.
Yeah, like
it's
I'm
usually,
expecting,
but it's usually they don't follow the. Usually, if the cross is involved,
they don't.
It'll go good.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
that's
should have hit the next one.
Yeah, I was expecting something a little more.
I put that ribbon in it.
Oh, okay. What does the ribbon signify?
That's the one you should read, not that ribbon.
Oh, okay.
The ribbony ribbon.
Oh gosh.
It's like a big.
The blue ribbon.
The blue ribbon. It's early.
Texas-oriented blue ribbon. Very cool. There we go. All right. Yeah. These shorter ones. Okay.
Yeah.
The Daydreamer. The Taming of the Shrew. I'm reading The Taming of the Shrew. Did you ever have to read that one?
No.
It's an okay. Like, I
I
don't read all of Shakespeare. I don't know Shakespeare very well, but
because it seems really fun to read.
I like all the
out loud.
The comedies I like because they end in, you know what I mean? Like, I can't handle Hamlet. I don't.
I like when everyone dies. Yeah.
I don't like that.
I like that.
I can't deal with that at all. If it's old, it's got to be like what we just
read. I've kind of been getting into it because it was like Japanese movies are ripping off.
Right.
I'm like, okay, cool.
What's the one with
Rand?
they do?
I like Rand. That's King Lear.
The one where he gets all the arrows in his. That's Macbeth.
Oh yeah.
I can't think of the name of the movie, but anyways, that was a good one. Martinko, The Taming of the Shrew.
No, you should read a Daydreamer first.
Okay.
You were doing a blackout on the book.
The Daydreamer. A poor peasant walking in a field saw a hare under a bush and was overjoyed. He said, "Now I'm in luck. I will catch this hare, kill him with a whip, and sell him for 12 kopecks. For that money, I will buy a sow,
a rabbit with a whip.
and she will bring me 12 piglets. The piglets will grow up, and each bring 12 piglets. I will slaughter them all, and have a barn full of meat. I will sell the meat, and with the money will set up housekeeping and get married. My wife will bear me 2 sons, Vashka and Vanka." Vanka?
Ivanka.
This is Trump. The children will play the.
No.
Okay.
Oh,
I
was
can just do
regular.
regular.
The lady's name was Melania, and I was like, "Fuck,
Melania.
Melania's huge."
Melania. Okay. My wife will bear me 2 sons, Vashka and Vanka. The children will plow the field, and I will sit by the window and give orders. "Hey, you boys!" I will cry, "Vashka and Vanka, don't overwork your laborers. Apparently you yourselves have never known poverty." Oh, so he's like big time. And the peasant shouted these words so loudly that the hare was startled and ran away.
Fuck.
And his house with all his riches and his wife and his children were lost. So
don't daydream.
You can daydream, but just keep that to yourself.
It inside, yeah.
Yeah, I fall victim to that often. It's like you don't want to tell people too much about
your daydreams
or what you plan. I mean, you know what I mean?
Especially if it involves them.
Yeah.
If it involves
or
killing
imaginary
them.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An imaginary hair.
Yeah, I just gotta. It involves killing. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, I just gotta kidnap you and hold you ransom, and then if that doesn't work, then we get.
And then I'm gonna buy more guys like you, kill them, get their meat.
Yeah. It's like Babe Ruth really, like, can you imagine if he had missed?
Right.
He pointed out, and then had he missed?
Daydream believer, yeah.
Like, everybody would remember it still, but for the other way, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they wouldn't. People like happy stories, I guess. Like, obviously this was a quick one. It was easy to read. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I mean,
I think.
Right.
It is fucked up when you're like, oh, this is kind of about me. When you're like, dang, I'm definitely supposed to learn a lesson. This is too close to home here.
For sure. But yeah, no, I totally get it.
That's the daydream. But the Taming of the Shrew, you ready? You can just hit it.
Okay. Oh, I do want to say that one song that I found. So, like, I found the song, right? But then I listened to the whole album, and the other hit from that album was about, like, trying to find a song. It's called Play It On My Radio, right? And then, like, we're in a chapel right now, and there's a cross. Right?
Whoa,
like, there's all these, you know what I mean? It's consciousness. It's like, but it's real. It's real. Okay. The Taming of the Shrew.
Is there going to be okay, so can I ask you this about the real Taming of the Shrew?
Yeah.
Is there a shrew in it?
Well, no, it's like shrew means like
a guy is a shrew.
No, a lady, like a
yeah.
mean lady.
Okay, cool.
Or in the
But
case
it's also
of that,
like
she's
a little guy. It's
she's
a little
mean,
rat guy.
We
right?
call like a shrewish man, you're a shrew, but in the time of Shakespeare,
But I mean, just
shrew
there's
meant,
also a little rat that's called a shrew, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Just
so
wanted to
that's
be
like
clear.
why I know you said you don't like Bill Burr, but he has a bit about like an old woman who's like that, like her face is like frozen in a
like a shrew,
in a shrewish way.
Yeah.
Like she's always been frowning or something like that. Okay, Martinko was lonely. He decided to get married and went to propose to the priest's daughter, Ustinia. The priest told him, Martinko, I would gladly give her to you, but how will you live with her? She is so capricious. Martinko answered him, Father, I am alone. With her there will be two of us, but there will be no one to be angry at and no one to quarrel with. That's a weird statement. The priest agreed to give
I guess he's like, I'll be dead or something.
I guess. He's just cocky or
He's gonna
cocksure.
kill himself.
Father, I am alone. With her there will be two of us, but there will be no one to be angry at and no one to quarrel with. The priest agreed to give I guess he means like I have no family. Does that make sense? Like there's no in-laws.
Because you're supposed to fight.
And if the priest, I mean, he's not going to be a problem. The priest agreed to give Ustinia to Martinko, and they were married. Martinko took his wife to his house. She asked, "When you get angry, what do you do?" He said, "When I'm angry, I get drunk on water." Then he asked Ustinia, "And you, Ustinia, what do you do when you get angry?" She said,
I get drunk on vodka.
"When I am angry, I sit on the stove with my face to the corner and put the front of my headband to the back."
What?
The next morning, our
She sits
Martinko,
on the stove.
I think that with it off, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. The next morning, our Martinko took his piebald horse to plow for the spring sowing.
Okay.
Ustinia made curd cakes and brought them to her husband, crying, "Peasant, come and eat." He pretended not to hear and went on plowing.
Fuck.
Ustinia grew angry, went home, ate her cakes, and sat on the stove, turning her face to the corner. And she didn't do the headband thing. She's a liar. When Martinko came home, he drank 2 jugs of water, took a lamb, and tore it asunder, started to climb up to his wife on the stove, fell down, rolled on the floor as far as the door.
I don't know what the stove is
be-
like. If he can climb up it.
Well, it's like one of, like the pot belly, right? Like when you go, the...
Yeah.
A pot.
I never realized that was big enough to climb. I thought it would be smaller than my body.
Right. But back then,
I get
it's
what
like...
I get that it's way bigger.
And then it's also heating.
I'm following it now.
Yeah, okay.
I was not ready.
So maybe
I think
maybe
that
they did
pipe
like a
that goes
pipe.
out of the
Maybe
ceiling.
Yeah. Okay. When Martinko came home, he drank 2 jugs of water. And so, like, are we saying water as in vodka at this point?
maybe
like, I don't
it
know.
is. Yeah, you're right,
like
I
what
think.
they call
I
it,
think
water. Wink, wink.
That hasn't happened yet, but that does seem like
Right,
the type
right,
of
right.
shit they would do in this
Right.
book, where they're like,
Yeah.
water.
Yeah, the devil's lettuce. Like, when Martinko came home, he drank 2 jugs of water, wink, wink, took a lamb and tore it asunder, started to climb up to his wife on the stove, fell down, rolled on the floor as far as the door, and began to snore. His wife quietly got down from the stove, did not dare open the door, got wood through the window, made a fire in the stove, and cooked dinner for Martinko. He awoke, she served him his dinner, and asked him to take her to visit her father. Martinko harnessed this piebald mare to the sledge, although it was spring, and they set out. On the way, their mare refused to pull spring. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. On the way, their mare refused to pull, so Martinko caught off her head and harnessed his Ustinia to the sledge. He drove to his father-in-law's house. The priest's wife and her daughters saw that Ustinia was dragging Martinko. They rushed out to meet the two. Some of them pulled the shafts and some of the ropes to help Ustinia, and the priest thanked Martinko for having given a lesson to all shrews. They came to the priest's house. Ustinia asked her family to keep water out of sight and to only serve wine and beer, saying that when Martinko drank water, he was terribly angry.
It has to be vodka. Right?
Yeah, the next day, a cook left a pail of water in the entrance hall. Martenko drank some water, became as foolish as a drunken man, and ordered Ustinia to harness herself to the sledge. She trembled and begged her father to give them his chestnut horse.
His what?
His better horse than what they have.
Okay, yeah.
The priest made them a gift of a horse. Okay. The priest made them a gift of a horse. Martenko and Ustinia drove home, and to this day, they are all still living and chewing bread, and Ustinia is a most obedient wife. So, like, yeah, I think, well, maybe it is just water. Maybe, yeah, I mean, like, maybe, like, and the idea just being that, like, I'm crazier than you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right,
I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It's hard to say. Mm-hmm. It's definitely tapping into that stuff you were saying about the wives.
And that is true. Yeah. I was thinking
really
of that.
mean to your wife.
Right, like,
it's
but
crucial.
Yeah, it's like you don't want to, like, maybe. Or have you ever seen Saving Silverman?
Yeah.
The idea at the end where he goes like, "You're the hardcore bitch that I always dreamed of." Like the Steve, you know what I mean? Like maybe the opposite. It takes an insane person to be with and that's the moral of Taming of the Shrew and the Shakespeare one too. It's like the crazy mean lady, the only guy who could even put up with her is like also like a crazy, disgusting, like giant drunk or whatever. But I don't know. Yeah, like what is the moral of that? Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy.
I think we'd know if we knew more about sledges and stuff.
Well, I think maybe that one's just like.
But it was spring.
One movie I saw that, for animation and stuff that's a really cool movie is called Son of the White Mare. Have you seen this?
No.
It's like I think it's Hungarian, but it's similar to this and a lot of what we've been reading, where it's like there's just like symmetry in it, where it's like there's not a lot of twists. It's just like
the
sort of like operatic.
Yeah,
it's like Star Wars, where it's like you kind of know how it's going to end. Like Star Wars has even more turns in it than this stuff. It's just like, oh, there's a big scary woman, and who would be good with her is a big scary man.
That she keeps in her belt,
and he needs to get all. And then you're just watching him get the 3 things she keeps in her belt. And then it's like weirdly satisfying. You know what I mean? And so like I don't know.
Oh yeah, I went to the opera.
You did?
When I was in New York. Yeah.
How was it?
It was great.
What did you
Rigoletto.
See? What?
Rigoletto.
Now, when you saw it, did you know what Rigoletto was? No.
Yeah, he's a sad clown.
Oh,
guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was good.
Pagliacci?
It's like Pagliacci, yeah.
Just like Pagliacci did.
But it's the song in the one where it goes la 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 la.
Oh, right. Okay.
La,
Yeah.
La, la,
right.
la, la.
Yeah.
But it was also just the one that was playing while I was there. So.
And then one cool thing about opera, don't they like explain it before you watch it? Like
have the program and it has stuff in it,
kind of tells
but also there's a little thing and it says what they're saying in English.
Ah,
and
that's
you're
cool.
like, oh, nice.
Yeah, very cool.
You're like, man, everybody's being real mean to him. Shit.
What happens in that?
He thinks he's getting revenge. It's at the beginning. He's really like. He like roasts this guy's daughter.
Okay.
And everybody's like, that was really disrespectful to roast the guys and his daughter that hard. And then at the end of it, he's trying to like kill this guy who disrespected his daughter, but he ends up killing his daughter.
His own daughter.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
He pays like a Boba Fett dude to kill his daughter. And there's like an assassin guy.
That happens in the movie Joe. Have you ever seen Joe?
With Nicolas Cage?
No.
I haven't seen Joe.
What's his name? Peter Boyle.
Oh, okay.
And
he kills his daughter.
Yeah, it's like that was kind of proto. The character from All in the Family is based on Joe, and he's on he wants to kill all the hippies or whatever, but in doing so he goes to the hippie house. Yeah, and he ends up killing his daughter.
Meathead.
Yeah.
Kills Meathead.
Well, yeah, he was like he kills Meathead early, and then they get away with it. It's a weird movie. Yeah, and
seems good.
Yeah. Ooh. So Russia. I mean,
we got a lot
would you go visit Russia?
I want to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to go. I was literally gonna go on a cruise that stopped in St. Petersburg
before the Ukraine stuff happened. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I did study abroad in Czech Republic, and I read a lot of to bring it on back to Chris Hedges. We were talking about Chris Hedges earlier, but he talked about I was Light Theater. What is it?
The Lantern Theater.
Lantern Theater with Václav Havel during the Velvet Revolution. Some of those plays by him are really funny. They're like, one of them is about the one that I remember most is about like signing your name on a protest thing, and then the guy is like, I would love to sign it, but you understand I'm a step closer to the party than you, so it looks worse if I sign it. But I want to. I just want you to know that I'll sign it, but I can't. Do you understand? And he does this for 4 pages or whatever. And then by the end, the revolution has already happened. Whoa. And then he goes like, I always wanted to sign it, or something like that. And so it's just like that type of person. But like like what you were saying earlier of like, seeing yourself in a play, like that's totally me.
Yeah,
like I would like, but
I'd love to sign it.
Yeah,
but,
let's march. Let's go. I can't. But I'm with you. But I don't. It's cold. It's cold out. So, anyways,
I got another one.
Very cool. Or do you want to do the next thing? Because
This is it.
Oh, we're not doing. What was this one?
That's
the
just
Chinese?
in case if you wanted it.
Oh, okay.
We're not.
Oh, okay. More Russian.
Any, yeah.
Oh. And when you say blackout, you mean you want to go through this entire book?
Yeah, eventually.
Very cool.
Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, I could do a couple more. Let me see how many we'll do. We'll do this one. Oh, and I've read Nodi the Priest Grandson. So I'll do this one, and then this one, and then maybe you do 2 more.
Okay.
But we'll see.
Do you have Russian heritage?
No.
Me neither.
Seems bad. Seems like you don't want that.
Slav.
But also, most of the people that are Russian in America are like Jewish, kind of.
Oh, like people who were escaping.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Cossacks and stuff.
Okay.
So this is the fox and the woodcock. A fox was running in the woods. She saw a woodcock on a tree and said to him, Terenti, Terenti, I've been to town. Boo, 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 boo. If you've been, you've been. Terenti, Terenti, I've learned about a new law. Boo, 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 boo. If you've learned, you've learned. A law forbidding you woodcocks to perch on trees. Oh, so they're forbid. And ordering you always to walk in the green meadows. Boo, 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 boo. To walk is to walk. Terenti, who is coming over there? Asked the fox, hearing the trampling of horses' feet and the barking of dogs. A peasant. Who is running after him? A colt. And how does he hold his tail? It's twisted to one side. Now, farewell, Terenti. I have urgent business at home. I don't know what any of that meant.
That was strange.
It's really weird.
I feel like we need to reread it to like truly decode.
Do you want to try it?
About. Yeah,
you can hit it. Oh, there's
so
a little kitty. There's a little kitty.
Oh. Like, is he? Okay. A fox was running in the woods. She saw a fox. Okay. She saw a woodcock on the tree and said to him, Terenti, Terenti, I've been to town. If you've been, you've been. Terenti, I learned about a new law. If you've learned, you've learned. A law forbidding you woodcocks to perch on trees and ordering you always to walk in the green meadows. Oh, to walk is to walk. Terenti, who's coming over there? Asked the fox, hearing this. The horse's feet. Oh, okay, so the hunting party. Terenti, who is coming over there? Asked the fox, hearing the trampling of horses' feet and the barking of dogs. A peasant. Who is running after him? A colt. And how does he hold his tail? It's twisted to one side, so like a dog, like. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So they're about to kill the woodcock?
They're the fox. They're gonna. The fox is saying like, "Oh, I'll leave then."
Yeah.
She's talking to the
woodcock.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna hunt the woodcock.
Right. No. They're not hunting the woodcock. They're hunting the fox. Or maybe. I mean, either
you
way.
hunt both.
You hunt both.
But the fox is smart enough.
The fox is smart
away.
enough to leave. So it's like reading context. So it's like what we just did.
Yeah.
Like see.
So I think it's just he's like.
Right.
Yeah, he's keeping him busy.
So you don't want to be a woodcock.
Yeah, you want to be tricking guys. You want to trick guys.
You want to be clever enough to see the way the winds are changing.
Okay, this one's the fox and the crane. So we might find out more about foxes.
I'm going to assume a crane is smarter than a woodcock, if I had to guess. Although smaller head, right? Or
Yeah.
I don't know.
The
Smaller
fox and the
head being
crane
proportioned to
used to be good friends.
Okay.
They even stood godparents for the same child.
Okay.
The fox wanted to treat the crane to dinner and invited him to her house.
Mm.
Come and to see me, gossip. Come, my dear. You'll see how nicely I'll entertain you. So the crane went to her house, or came to her house. Meantime, the fox had cooked gruel and spread it over a dish. She served it and urged her guest, "Eat, my darling, I cooked it myself." The crane pecked with his bill, knocked and knocked at the dish, but nothing got into his mouth, while the fox lapped and lapped the gruel until she had eaten it all. After the gruel was gone, the fox said, "I'm sorry, dear friend, but that's all I have to offer you. Thank you, my friend, for what you have given me. You must come to visit me soon." The next day, the fox came to the crane's house. So the crane was pretty chill. I thought the crane might kind of blow up on the fox, but the crane was real chill, even though she made that gruel. He couldn't eat the gruel. The next day, the fox came to the crane's house. The crane had made soup and put it in a pitcher with a narrow neck. She placed it on the table and said, "Eat, my friend, that's all I have to offer you." The fox began to trot around the pitcher. She approached it from one side, then from another. She licked it and smelled it, but all to no avail. Her snout could not get into the pitcher. Meanwhile, the crane sucked and sucked until he had drunk all the soup. "I'm sorry, my friend, that's all I have to offer you." The fox was greatly vexed, for she had thought she would eat for a whole week. Now she had to go home with a long face and an empty stomach. It was tit for tat, and from that moment on, the friendship between the fox and the crane was over.
So that's like about not like
It's like knowing what your friend's weaknesses are and like what you should do with them and stuff.
I was thinking more of like not being reciprocal in terms of like if you have knowledge or something and you know something so specific, but you're not.
But you don't have it. You don't have the ability to share it or to give people.
Or unwilling. You're not. You're making it to where only you can benefit.
But you're
from
saying
the
it's hospitality. Though.
Yeah,
that's kind of the part. Is
right.
You're tricking the person into thinking you're being hospitable.
Right. Huh. Ooh. Yeah. All right.
Let's see which one's.
Oh, you've X'd out ones you've already read.
Yeah.
Cool. What's your favorite one so far?
I don't know. They're all
Which
pretty
one
good.
has affected your life the most?
The Milk of Wild Beasts.
In what way?
Just I don't know. Just the one I was looking at.
Okay.
There's a lot of them. Yeah, let's hit you with the Poor Wretch, and
No.
that'll maybe be the end.
Okay. That sounds dark.
I know.
Maybe
he might have a
maybe
good.
he'll find some fortune in a barrel under some water. That's cool.
Yeah, they're always and then he checked in the bucket where the ashes are kept. And
what's the best thing you've ever found in a barrel?
Personally?
Yeah.
Non-virtually?
Non-virtually. No, it ain't virtual. That counts.
Yeah, coins.
Coins. Yeah. Bunch of bananas.
Bananas, yeah.
Man. Oof. It's a good game. Once there was a peasant named Nesterka. Nesterka? Once there was a peasant named Nesterka, who had 6 children but no land. He had nothing with which to support himself and his family, and he was afraid to steal. One day he harnessed his cart, took his children, and went out into the world. On the road he looked back and saw, lying in the dirt, a little old man who had no feet. This little old man begged him, "Please take me with you. How can I, little father?" "Please take me with you. How can I, little father?" asked Nesterka. "I have 6 children and my horse is a wretched nag." Again the footless man said, "Please take me." Nesterka took the poor wretch, seated him in the cart, and drove on. The poor wretch said to him, "Let us cast lots to see which of us is to be the elder brother." They cast lots, and it fell to the poor wretch to be the elder brother.
What does that mean?
I think that means the cool guy. on the team. It's like shotgun, maybe.
Yeah.
They came to a village. The poor wretch said, "Now go and ask if we can spend the night in the house." Nesterka began to beg for shelter. An old woman came out of the house and answered him, "We have no place for you. Even without you, we are crowded." Nesterka returned to the cripple and said, "They won't let us in there." But the cripple sent him back again, telling him to insist. Nesterka went and obtained permission to spend the night. He drove into the yard, carried his children into the house, and carried in the cripple also. The mistress of the house ordered him to put the children under the bench and the footless man on the shelf above the stove. You don't want to be on the stove.
Above the stove, yeah. They're like, just put him above the stove.
He did as the woman bade him. "Where is your husband?" the cripple asked the hostess. "He has gone out stealing and has taken my 2 sons with him," she said. Oh, have you ever seen the movie The Fireman's Ball? Have you ever seen that?
Oh, no, I know what that is.
It's really good, though. Yeah. It's a lot of stuff about stealing.
Is that Milos?
Yeah, Milos. He has gone out stealing and has taken my 2 sons with him, she said.
He's out stealing.
After a while, the husband returned. He brought 12 carts laden with silver into the yard, put the horses in the stable, and came into the house. He saw the poor people and began to shout at his wife, "What kind of people have you let in?" "They are beggars who have no place to spend the night," she replied. It didn't say she replied. I'm just saying that for the audience at home. It was quite unnecessary to let them in here. They could have spent the night in the street. Then the husband, the wife, and their 2 sons sat down to supper, but did not invite the poor people to share. The cripple drew half a holy wafer from his bag, ate of it himself, and gave a bit to Nesterka and his children. All ate their fill.
Nice.
The host was amazed.
Do you have any holy wafers on?
No, I don't.
I'm somewhere. I'm like patting my.
I think you're getting the picture of what kind of story this is, right? And that turned out to be, maybe that's where we're at. We still have a couple paragraphs. The host was amazed. "How can this be?" he said. "The 4 of us have eaten a whole loaf of bread, and we are still hungry, and the 8 of you have been sated with half a wafer." When their hosts fell asleep, the cripple sent Nesterka out into the yard to see what was going on there. Nesterka went out and found that all the horses were eating oats. The cripple sent him out again, saying, "Go and have another look." He went out and saw that all the horses had their yokes on. The cripple sent Nesterka for the 3rd time. He went out again and saw that all the horses were harnessed. He returned to the house and said, "All the horses are harnessed." "Well," said the cripple, "now carry out your children and myself, and we'll leave." They sat on their cart.
Oh, because they stole those. So
I don't know.
Them.
Maybe
those other guys, the people who live there, are thieves.
And so
they were out thieving, and they came back with all those.
They sat on their cart and left the yard, and the robbers' 12 horses followed them with their carts. They drove and drove. Then the cripple ordered Nesterka to return to the house where they had spent the night and bring him his mittens. "I forgot them on the shelf," he explained. Nesterka went back, but there was no house. It was as though the building had dropped down through the earth. Only the mittens remained by the chimney. He took the mittens, returned to the cripple,
only the mittens,
and told them that the whole house had fallen through the ground. "That is the Lord's punishment for stealing. Take these 12 carts for yourself, with everything in them," said the cripple, and vanished from sight.
Oh!
Nesterka returned home, found the carts laden with silver, and began to prosper. His wife said to him, "Why do you keep your horses idle? Take them to serve as carriers." He made ready and went to the town. On the way, he met a maiden whom he had never seen before. "These horses are not yours," she said. "That's true," said Nesterka. "Since you have recognized them, take them, and God be with you." The maiden took the 12 horses, and the peasant returned home. The next day, the same maiden came to his window and said, "Here, take your horses. I was only joking, yet you gave them to me." Nesterka took the horses, and lo and behold, the carts were laden with even more silver and gold than before. So, I don't know. I get the idea
you should be
that
nice to people, and it'll come back to you.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah.
And if you're mean to people, your house will be
right. Well,
consumed into
and it's
the earth.
also like, yeah, I don't know. Are we saying that Nesterka is like, because didn't he steal the stuff from them? Well, it's like if you steal from a stealer.
They followed him.
They followed him.
And the armless man made it all happen, or the footless man.
Right.
with his magic.
Yeah. Whew.
So yeah, give homeless guys a ride because they might be magic.
It might come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely think of that, like, I don't know.
That they might be doing magic against you if you're mean to them.
Yeah. Or not magic, but like, yeah, I don't know. You should be nice.
Yeah.
You should be kind to people whenever possible, even if, I don't know. We say that, but are we? I don't know.
Maybe if I got some carts full of silver,
I
might start change my tune.
Then like, oof. In silver, do they mean like silverware, or do they just mean silver
ingots?
Like,
ingots, I don't know. Yeah,
rubles,
coins.
So, where did you buy that book? Tell me about that.
I just got it on Amazon.
Amazon? What's the
best? Because I like the Pantheon Fairy Tale and Folklore Library. They have different.
Pantheon
they all
books,
look like this,
right.
but different patterns.
Yeah, that's awesome. I had it's crazy checking stuff on Amazon that you own that's like out of print, and then they start scalping it or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I had the Daft Punk Interstellar 555 DVD, and my friend lost it in college, and it's worth $150 now. And it was like I got it for like $5.
Yeah.
That's what is that?
Too much.
30x, right? That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I need to find
3,000%
a homeless robot to help me out. A silver Toma robot. They're made of ingots. I don't know. That was fun. I enjoy, when it comes to like folk tales and stuff. Like we don't even know a lot of the American stuff either.
Right.
Like there's always. And then it's obviously probably informed
and it's also
by the
specific,
Russians.
but
right.
also general, which is fun. I like stuff like that.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to think.
Oh my God, this has happened to me.
Or what's the one? Rip Van Winkle.
Right.
Like I didn't know that that's an American story, but then if you think about things like the movie, that's like they say that's the first American fairy tale. Yeah. Like a guy waking up 100 years in the future, and like if you think about like what America is, like that it kind of is. How it feels to be an American, like you,
oh man,
you just like kind of
I was
time
asleep
travel
for a little bit,
and then everything changes drastically, and then but
Washington Irving,
the what was I gonna say? The thing of like the movie Idiocracy, like that's basically Rip Van Winkle. Like he wakes up in the future,
right? Yeah,
and things are drastically different, and I don't know, probably. 30-second clip of interesting TikTok there. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I'm waking up in the future and having to think in those terms now. Like,
oh shit, yeah.
I need to put that out to the internet, I guess.
Is he the guy where he's spinning the gold too?
That's Rumpelstiltskin.
Oh yeah, their names I get them mixed up.
Yeah, I never even knew that until pretty recently. Like it's like vague fairy tale.
Yeah, I love all those guys. Yeah.
What's the most memorable other fairy tale? The non-Russian
or American one? I like Paul Bunyan.
Oh yeah,
Johnny Appleseed is kind of.
Yeah, see,
he's a real guy though.
Oh, he was a real guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's like a socialist Christian, so everybody was like, "Oh no,
You're
was
a
kind of
storybook."
fake." Yeah, he was a fake guy.
That's hilarious. Yeah. What did I? When you go to, have you ever been to the Walmart Museum?
No, art museum? I've been to. Oh yeah, Crystal Ridges
or whatever. They have like the section of all the American art where it's like in that time period, like where there was like the Wobblies and all that stuff, and you have the like socialist realism type of painting. It's Walmart owns it all, so they go putting America to work or something like that. Like that's the big I don't know, like header, I guess, of the thing. It's like they're kind of slightly undercutting what the message is behind that art was, but I don't know, they own it, I guess. They can do what they want.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Yeah, like those post office murals and stuff like that.
For sure, yeah.
WPA.
Cool. Mm-hmm.
Nice. Any final thoughts? This was kind of spooky. I don't think I've ever been in
cemetery in a long time that was to just hang out. I've never done that before.
I've come here to read before.
Really?
But not that much, yeah.
Yeah, I usually just do like the library.
I don't. There's too many people at the library.
I get that.
I don't like people.
I get why you would come here because it is very quiet and it is like sweet and
I just like that it's old.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I do, and I mean, why do they make gravestones with benches on it if not for have to people? You know what I mean? Like, would you want people like us hanging out in your
grave?
I guess, right?
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
Unless you don't like us.
Right. It's like not
that
about
sounds
you
like
at
a you
that
issue,
point,
yeah.
right? But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I hope we were very respectful. I feel respectful. Like, it's like kids' fairy tales or something. Like, that's not the most dark thing.
Yeah, it's not
to
salacious.
do.
It's not too salacious.
No.
But would I do a salacious book in the cemetery? Of course.
What?
Of course.
I wouldn't do that.
Of course.
Yeah, I know.
I'll get some more daring people.
Oh, God. Okay.
All right. Anything? Final thoughts?
It's fun. Thanks for having me.
All right.
Thank you.
Great
Appreciate
job.
it.